Welcome to the latest edition of New Haven Vlog News Summary, direct from our assignment desk, otherwise known as my compost heap. Let's see what stories we're working on at this hour. Someone nice gave me this toy. You know, you're never too old to enjoy playing with toys. The problem was when grown-up politicians play with what they think are toys and there are more serious consequences. I'm thinking of eminent domain. We think we learned our lesson in New Haven over the years that eminent domain, seizing people's property because you think you have a better idea for it, is not a toy. It's really dangerous. We see so many people's property in urban renewal because some people think they're the smartest in the room, not listening to the people themselves or respecting the decisions people make with their property, seized it all to make the city better and just drove people out of their homes and their businesses and made it worse. This week, the Board of Alders voted 17-5 to let the Ellicott administration use eminent domain. What a horrible precedent. To seize Ball Island, the English Station, the decommissioned power plant, because they have some crazy idea for it, a $45 million park so we could have an outdoor pool 3 months a year when we have all these other pools we don't even use because they can't keep them up. Urban renewal taught us that eminent domain should be used only for threats to public safety, period. You know, a more interesting idea for the island might be to copy what we learned that the administration's doing this week at Bowen Field. They're starting another great project where they're getting a parking lot and working with the company to put a canopy to generate solar power. Let's have English Station go back to what it always was. A power generator, but a green power generator for Fairhaven, municipally owned. We even got the wires there for distribution. Board games are fun too, even when you're grown up. Like, we really like code names at our house. I know a lot of grown-ups in New Haven like to play Monopoly. They think it's fun. Buy up really crappy properties, keep them crappy, but make a lot of money, get a lot of new investors in, either flip them or get Section 8 rents. There's this guy, Dr. Shu in Bethany, who really plays it to a sick degree. He has a house he plays Monopoly with on Avon Street. He crams all these people in who are in desperate straits, makes a lot of money on them. The police keep starting on fire. This week, that same house caught on fire weeks after it did the first time. And that wasn't even the first time. It also caught on fire 3 years ago. And people in that house had just come back this week, 4 of the 17 who lost their homes, when they had to leave again because of the fire. I think we should stop playing games with real estate in New Haven and crack down on slumlords like Dr. Shu. Oh, don't tell the principal, but I got my cell phone and classes are on. Dr. Billy, the principal of Hill House, sent a note this week. It turns out that even though New Haven has this new policy, you're not supposed to have cell phones in class in school, at Hill House, all these kids are getting around the policy. They're keeping their phones by putting separate phones, burner phones, in these yonder pouches where you're supposed to deposit them. Well, it turns out this is not all just about Hill House. It's not all about New Haven. Nationwide, school boards are putting in bans on cell phones in school, and kids are figuring out tricky ways to get around it. And the reason I'm putting thumbs up for both, it's a contradiction, because I love the idea that kids want to outsmart the adults. They want to find away blockages to accomplish what they want to do. And I think that's a great lesson for life. On the other hand, I think these cell phone bans are great. I think kids in the end lose having distractions in class like that. So here's my challenge to the kids. Now that you outwitted the adults and how to get the phones into class, see if there's a way to hack the hack and trick your classmates into not getting their phones in. The citations went out, 250 citations to 847 drivers, or 7 times people drove past school buses in a 4-day period this month against the law. We got cameras now to catch them, and with all the debates about when we should or shouldn't have cameras, this is a great use. We've started putting cameras on school buses, and so many people ignore it when the sign comes out not to pass the school bus, because God forbid a kid has to cross the street and you might get to your place 20 seconds later, but you don't run over a kid. Keep the citations coming, keep the cameras rolling. We got to fix this. Speaking of bus fixes, I got my Go Connecticut card. Do you know that most of the time I swipe it, it doesn't even read it because the machine's always broken when I ride the city bus? Roland Lamar, New Haven state rep, told a public meeting this past week that he's changed his mind. He used to think making buses free, like we did during the pandemic, for people to ride, was a nice idea, but not a high priority. He had other high priorities, and there were reasons we can use that revenue. Now he's come to see, he said, that like the mayor of New York, we should be advocating in New Haven for free buses for so many reasons. For fairness, it's easier on the drivers, the stuff doesn't work half the time. So Roland's no longer the chair of the transportation committee. He's gonna have to convince more of his colleagues to make it happen. It's not gonna happen this year, but let's keep up the idea. Let's see the destination we wanna ride to and get there. Until next time, this is New Haven Independent Vlog News Summary. And remember, let's always recycle our trash while we still can.